out of that door, there's a loading dock back there, and that's where we're going. We're getting the fuck out of here. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
So,
absolutely.
I'm mindful, but it's because of prison, man. I
Hmm.
watch people, I watch people's movement. You learn that stuff, dude. It's like natural that you learn, and you can tell when, there was an incident about 2 months ago in the post office where this dude's in there on the phone talking about I'm about to blow this dude's head off, and I'm like, I'm watching this cat, and I'm thinking in the moment, I'm on post supervised release, I'm on federal probation parole, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm thinking to myself, man, should I grab this kid? Like I really thought, like I'm gonna grab this kid by the throat, put him in this.
yeah.
I'm gonna do something to this cat. And I'm like, man, you know what? I'm just leaving. I'm not even checking out my mail or nothing. And if I wasn't on parole just because the way the kid was talking, I probably would have definitely. I was a little scared. You know what I mean? So I was gonna
Yeah.
grab him, dude, and I didn't. But that's only because I was on parole. And then later on, they know me at the post office. So I had asked the lady, what was up with that kid the other day?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, oh, he always comes in here starting shit. He's got mental health problems, and they called the
Ah,
police. And I'm like, oh, okay. But like I'm always mindful, bro. You know what I
But
mean?
you know what's crazy too is that what you're saying there in that situation, you're thinking of like, how can I help and do the right thing, right? In that situation, and it's crazy that if you were to help and do the right thing, you could have gotten in so much more trouble,
yep.
and it juice wouldn't have been worth the squeeze. And the better
Right.
thing is to leave, which sucks, right? Like doing the right thing is more dangerous than than actually what would have, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
it's
because in
just
the moment I wasn't even thinking that this dude's nuts. I don't know this cat. I never seen him
right.
before here, and I'm not. I'm really thinking like this dude's got a gun on him, right? That's what
Yeah,
I'm really thinking in my head.
yeah,
And my natural reaction is like, yo, I'm gonna yoke this kid up.
yeah.
And then my feet got real hot, dude. I felt my feet were sweating immediately, and I started to get like, you know what I mean. And I've been in them situations in prison where I'm like, whenever you go on a mission in prison, and I
Hmm.
ask people this on my channel, and I've been on a few missions in my life, right? It was the same feeling where my feet got hot, and it's like I can hear everything. I'm like, it's just really, it's an intense feeling. And even in prison, man, when you got to go stab somebody, you're like, maybe I shouldn't even talk about this on here, but in that moment, I try not to talk about my personal stories on my channel,
Right, 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 right.
and I do have a little PTSD, man.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I'm
of
sure
course.
you do.
you get them feelings, dude. And I had that feeling that day where it's like, it's intense. My heart's beating, my feet are sweating, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking, I'm going to do something to this dude. In that split moment, dude, I thought about my wife and I thought about my kids, and I said, man, maybe I better just leave.
Hmm.
Just leave. Fuck the mail. I'm leaving.
Hmm.
And I made that decision. But the other part of me really wanted to grab him. But had I grabbed him, this kid really don't have a gun. And
Yeah.
they're like, oh, he's a mental health patient. He's always in here. You're in the wrong. You should have never
Yeah.
put your hands
Yeah.
on this guy.
Yeah. And
But
you're an ex-con and
yeah,
violent and all that bullshit.
Yep.
Yeah.
me, I'm thinking I don't know this cat, but it's not even about, you said, doing the right thing. Yeah, it's cool to do the right thing and help other people, but I was worried about me in that moment. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
It's
I
hard to
yoked him
think
up and
about
saved
you.
my life.
It's hard
Yeah.
to think about you rather than like go with your natural instincts.
Hmm.
That's like, I think that's like learned behavior
Hmm.
because everyone's natural instincts, you have to fight it because now the world is looking at you negatively because you're a criminal.
Yeah.
Like, come on, we all are.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, you have to think about your family now, and that's really not easy.
Yeah.
Definitely
Couldn't
not.
agree more. Yeah. Plus, too, you like right away, your boys are going through your mind and all. Like that's the shit. Like before, when you were young and reckless, you'd be like, "Oh, whatever," But now, when you got your wife, you got your home, you got your family, and your boys, like all that shit flies. Like, dude, that shit flies through my mind. Like, say I got a daughter, I got a 3-year-old daughter, right? Say I'm driving, right, and I get like something on my phone. I'm even like, "Fuck, don't look at it," because like you shouldn't be taking your eyes off the road, like just simple shit like that. But it goes through your mind because of like before I'd have been like, oh, what the fuck, like
Yeah.
now. But now it's like you got people depend on you. You can't be doing that shit.
Dude, that was my thing, dude. I never in my life did I ever have to take care of anyone. I took care of myself. And in prison, of course, our group of people, I would try to make the best decisions that I could make, right, in
Mhm.
prison. But I was never had to really be responsible except for myself. I knew I had to make sure that I ate. Now
Mhm.
I got to make sure that my kids eat. I got to make sure that the mortgage is paid. I got to make sure that, they got clothes. I got to make sure there's days when I don't want to work, but I got to bring
Mhm.
my ass down here in the office and I got to work, bro.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Because if I don't work, then they might not eat.
Mhm.
So that's, I'm focused on them. I love them with all my heart, man.
Oh man, dude, they are
I
literally.
love them too.
Yeah, literally, dude. I remember like, and I've said this before, like when me and my wife were together and like she's pregnant, and I'm thinking, I'm like, man, there's no way I could love anything more than I love my wife. And then I have my daughter, and I'm like, who the fuck is my wife? You know what I mean? Like, you're like, I love this, like this little baby now has replaced anything I ever thought I knew what love could be. You know, and that's kids though.
I love my wife too, though. This is my wife, man.
Oh,
Hi,
dude.
wife.
You're a lucky man, dude. You're very talk about out kicking your coverage. Golly. you and Justin got a couple
Yeah,
things
you
in
and
common.
Justin.
And just like V would wait for me. V would wait 17 years for me.
She
She
absolutely
probably would because she's
not.
perfect.
Yeah.
No,
Justin,
she would, Matt.
Justin's girlfriend's been on the show. Her name's Veronica, and everyone was amazed that they actually date. And,
Did
like,
you
live together.
did
So
you
I'm
like keep in contact throughout the years in prison, or like you got out and you were just like, hey, you single?
You're saying like keep in contact with your now wife? Okay.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
you want to know the craziest stuff, right? Okay, so I end up with 40 years. She's got to go on with her life, right?
Right. Yeah, you have to.
You can't wait 40 years for me.
No.
So she went on with her life, man. She met someone and she ended up getting married. And
Wow.
and the crazy thing, and I love her with all my heart. And we had a lot of dreams together, right? So I come home from prison and she contacts me. And I'm like,
Oh.
I had checked out her on Facebook and seen that she's
Sure.
part of the neighborhood watch team. And I'm thinking, damn, what does she work at the police department? Like, so, and then I just left it alone, bro. And eventually she contacts me, and dude, honestly, man, I told her, look, man, I love you. I'll always love you. But you got a family, man. You got to go home and be with your family and just forget about me and, go on with your life. And it seemed like that's what was going to happen. And it didn't. She kept coming to my house like, hey, I just want to talk to you.
Yeah.
It was my wife, dude. She was the love of my life, bro. And it's crazy because eventually she ends up telling her then husband, like, and I even talked to him and I'm like, dude, I don't want your wife. You know what I mean? Like, you guys have your life.
But you did
Live that way. It hurt me to say that. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
she was the love of my life.
Mhm.
And eventually, man, she says, look, I felt like this was, I hate to say this, but this was my real husband. And this was the life that I was supposed to have. And I'm having these feelings and I can't do this. It's just, I feel like I have to go here.
Wow.
Dude, I pushed her away, dude, 1,000 times, bro. And I know dudes are probably like, yeah, sure you did. 100%, bro. I said, look, you got a family, man. Just go home, man. Just go home. She's in my parking lot in my house at like 9 at night. Like, where are you? I want to talk to you. And I'm like, look, man, just go home, man. I'm in my house. Just go home.
You're also like, I just got out. Like this could go,
Yeah.
like I'm, like I got needs,
But anyway, eventually, she does what she's, we end up together. We get remarried. And like I said, we got 2 little twin boys. She's the love of my life, dude. I love her with all my heart. And I feel that, the feeling was, the same way on her part. And dude, she was with this dude for like 15 years, bro. You know what I mean?
Wow.
That is an absolutely incredible story. That
I mean,
is,
I mean, for us, maybe not for him, right? But
No, not for that guy, but for
Right, yeah.
yeah. It's like
Well-
Castaway. Like, remember, like in that Tom Hanks. You haven't. I don't know if you saw Castaway while you were
I
in
haven't
prison.
seen it.
no, I know what Castaway is. So.
spoiler.
But like, yeah, like
Wilson!
he's lost for so long that like his wife moves on, and like rightfully so. You
Yeah.
know, like
And
you can't blame her.
You didn't hold a grudge. You were like
No.
telling her, like, come on, go
Yeah.
ahead. Like, I know where I'm going. I don't expect you to
No,
wait.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I was a little hurt over it, and I did hold a grudge. And honestly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. I was immature, right?
Yeah.
So for a long time, I was angry inside about the whole situation because I was like,
Yeah.
man, I was married, and I couldn't understand at that young age and with an immature mind that this girl has to go on with her life. She's a pretty girl,
Yeah.
good girl. She needed to go on with her life. And eventually, man, I would get over it, but I never. I wouldn't say I got over the anger.
Mhm.
But I never got over her, bro, as crazy as that sounds, right?
Mhm.
In prison, you live the same life every single day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're still there.
When I left, I was 24 years old when I left. When I was in prison at the age of 35, I was still playing basketball the same way I played at 24.